Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending where you are. If you're on replay, thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching from the beginning, and if you're watching first time, thanks for coming in. And oops, I try not to move the tripod too much and bounce around. This is my site, and I'm going to get into more detail in a moment, but I wanted to say hi and let you know this is Thursday, which is 3 Keys Thursday. Oops, let's do this. Tap it. Oh, there we go. Hi, nice to have you here. Just getting set up. Oh, nice. Okay. This is fiddly. I know, bounce the tripod around. Okay. No props. This was really smart planning. Been a crazy day today, and I'm just getting back on Periscope for the third time today. What a day. Thanks for joining me. I'm trusting more people will be coming in shortly, so I'm just hanging out here for a few moments. For the rest of the crew to come in, if you're here for the first time, thank you for joining me. And if you're here for the first time, please make sure you do swipe right on the iPhone, swipe up on the Droid, and tap follow me so you can keep updated on my daily scopes and share with your friends. So please also share this on Twitter, invite your followers on Periscope, because this will be a maybe a game changer for some people about the area of love and romance. So if you have been following me, you know, and I'm going to get into this slowly because right now I see there's not many people in, but there are more coming, so I'm padding a little bit, just bear with me till they join us. There are, right now I'm building up a new thing of 7 different topics, sorry, 7 different themes, as in 7 daily themes over the week that I'll do each week. And, there you are, it's one of the people, so these glasses are a bit wonky, so I'm going to straighten them up a bit so I don't look like I'm tilting. Thanks for coming in, nice to have you here. And again, if you're here for the first time or you haven't done it before, please make sure you do swipe right on the iPhone, swipe up on the Droid, tap follow me, and please share this on Twitter and invite your followers on Periscope, you're much appreciated. And you can tap the screen for hearts if you wish, that'd be great too. So I'm doing now a scheduled 4 p.m. right now, although I may change the time based upon who's watching and how much attendance there is. It may go a bit earlier or later, I'm not sure yet. Because I'm West Coast, I have to juggle times from the East Coast and for Europe as well. I do a daily scope on love and romance. That's why it's called a love scope. And Thursdays are my 3 Keys Thursdays, at least that's the current iteration. I'm starting out new ideas. So each day's got a thematic, and it's usually a alliteration. So just to recap for those who haven't joined before, Mondays are my Man Up Mondays, and that's about men and men's issues, men's challenges, men's opportunities. Tuesdays for couples, it's called Togetherness Tuesdays. So it's couples, issues, opportunities. Wednesday is Woman Up Wednesdays, because if you do Man Up Mondays, you could have Women Up Wednesdays, so they'll speak to women about what they can do and what they can have more of in their lives. They're my primary audience, so it's always good to have that day. Today being Thursday is 3 Keys Thursdays. Again, alliteration is fun, because I had nothing else to think of that would fit, so this might change next week, we'll see. Because it depends how many 3 keys I can give you. Fridays is Freeform Friday for now, because that seems like a opportunity to do anything I want to do. And then Saturday and Sunday are different. So Saturdays is Sexy Saturdays, and Sunday is Spiritual Sundays. Interesting. What's I'm looking for? Not dichotomy, but opposition. But it's going to be fun. Anyway, actually not true. Sex and spirituality go together, and that's another conversation I'll do later, not today. So today's topic is 3 Keys Thursday, and particularly, I'm going to cover the 3 biggest keys. And I thought, why not start at the beginning with this theme, with the biggest keys you can deal with, the biggest keys you need to know. These are on my website, that's why I was just showing my website. This is my website, it's the homepage. You can go to barryselby.com or you can go to theloveconfidant.com. Either way gets you there. And it's the welcome page. Now I have here the introduction video that leads to the 3 video series. What I do is give you the overview of them now. So if you want to go deeper, you go to my site and get them. If you don't, you get what you got from here. Fair deal? And I realize I'm teaching and not getting interaction, so if you want to have questions along the way, please feel free to type them in. Any comments, thoughts, shares, I appreciate that too. I know the audience are pretty quiet right now, which is why I may move the time earlier in the day, because a lot of folks in Europe are actually, well, it's Thursday night, so they're probably in bed because it's school night. It's midnight there. Anyway, so 3 keys. I'm going to give you 3 keys that I feel are the most important keys that you need to know to attract the love you want, whether you're a guy or a girl. So this applies to everybody. Key number 1. Do you know what you want? I mean, seriously, do you know what you want? The first key for me is you've got to have clarity of the vision of what you want to create. And the how's the stuff I talk about in one of my programs. I'm not going to cover that here, but I want to give you the thought about it. If you're, let's say, car doesn't work. If you're in a plane and you're flying and you don't know where you're going, it doesn't really matter where you end up. And no place is better than anything else. If that's the way you do dating life, same thing is true. If you're on Tinder or you go Match.com or eHarmony or even matchmakers, they'll pay you up somebody, but the thing is it won't give you much of what you really want because you didn't ask for what you want and clarify what you want. So first key, absolutely fundamental, is you've got to know what you want. It's true in any area of life, but particularly in the area of romance. Because we think, and I've talked about this before, I think it was on Tuesday's scope. If not, I'll recap it here. But we think that it's so easy. Seriously. I've been posting recently on Facebook, and I'll say it here now, that, let me say this. Ponder this. If you're looking to grow your business or to generate more success in your business, you'll usually consult a business coach or a management company or somebody else to help you get it going. If you want to create more money in your life, you might use an investment firm or a financial planner to help you budget and schedule money to go the right way. In the area of health and wellness and fitness, you would probably see a dietitian or a yoga instructor or a fitness trainer or somebody to help you get where you want to go with those goals. But when it comes to love and romance, you go on Match.com and wonder why it doesn't work. I'm going to be blunt. People generally don't get help in the area of relationship or romance because they assume it will work easily, and it usually doesn't. That's why the divorce rate is 50%. Second divorces are 70%. So, and I'm being hard with these facts because I want to make sure that you get this, whether you're watching it now or on the replay, that this is a key piece. That most people go into relationships with a vague idea of what they're looking for, and what they get is a vague result. Somebody may or may not fit their profile, their picture, their intention, their desire. If you are somebody who's smart, which I trust you are watching this video, you'll take this to heart. You'll figure out and get clear about what you really want. Simple, okay? Okay, that's number one. Number two. Hi Jenna, nice to have you here. So that's number one. And a recap, because Mick just jumped in. You come right after I do the keys. I'm going to go back and recap it. I'm not going to recap the whole key. The bottom line is you're going to know what you really want, and I mean specifically. And I have subtleties of that in my programs that help you go deeper into that. But I'll just give you the broad strokes. So key number one, you're going to know what you really want. So that's the first key of the three. Second key is you're also going to know you deserve it. Now this may sound simple, but boy, so many of my clients have got to go through this, and so many people I know in the world don't know their own self-worth. What it comes back to, what it comes down to, is that we think that we're going to find the love we want out there instead of in here. So a large key of this three-key discussion is you got to know that you deserve it. And that means you've got to value who you are. And I have self-love practices I give my clients and things you do, mirror work and things working with the body that really help you own and value who you are. So not only do you then no longer need to find the person out there to fill you up first, but secondly, you raise your standards. Hey Kevin, I haven't seen you for a while. Good to have you on the scope. So that's the biggest thing about key number two, is it's about raising your own vibration, your own standards, your own intention by valuing who you are. Because otherwise you basically will settle for anything. And that can be a trap, as I mentioned in key number one. So that's key number two. And for those of you just joining me, I'm going to go back and recap quickly key number one and two in a moment. But key number three. Key number three is, well, let's just say it this way. You know in key number one I mentioned you got to know what you really want. Well, the problem is, if you don't know what you really want, it's vague enough as it is. But key number three is if you don't clean up your baggage, you're never going to get what you want, period. Because the power of your baggage outweighs the power of your vision. Yes, the power of your baggage outweighs the power of your vision until you make peace with your past. So, to go and to cover the three keys again, and maybe go in a little more detail if there's requests for that. Key number one is know what you really want. Clearly, eloquently, exactly, and from a heart place, not so much a mental picture. You can start here, but finish here with your vision, what you want to create. That's number one. Number two, is value and appreciate who you are, so you can attract what you really want and deserve at a much higher level than you may have before. Because the thing is, and I've seen this happen before, rebound relationships usually fail. Because somebody who's on the rebound is usually feeling sorry for themselves. They're feeling less than who they really are. And some people carry that wound for months or even years. So when they're looking for a relationship, they're looking for a wounded place for someone to save them, which is not a healthy way to do relationships. And that's going to be one of the keys next week. So it's key that you need to, or you should, need to should sound heavy. I recommend that you really spend time focusing on yourself first, loving yourself, appreciating who you are, so you can attract what you really want because you deserve it. But until you value yourself, you won't know you deserve it, and that's the key. So that's number 2. And number 3 again is to really be aware of what baggage you're dragging into your future relationships over your shoulder. This big sack of steamer trunk full of stuff that you grew up with, and you can tell by looking at your past relationships what that is pretty easily. So that's the 3 keys in broad strokes. Again, on my website, I'm going to tell you now, you can get the more description. That's on my landing page on my site. How do you learn to love yourself? What are the steps? Well, if you go to my website right now, which is again barryselby.com or theloveconfidant.com, either way gets you there. On my homepage, the welcome page, there is a opening video which invites you to sign up for the 3 keys, and I go into some details. Hi Ricardo, nice to have you here. Also for the ladies, particularly, I can zoom in. There we go. Zooming in, I have 2 Dating Advantage programs: Dating Advantage Coaching and Dating Advantage Download. Those are designed for the single ladies who want to attract what they really want, and they have self-love practices in them. But in terms of your question, Jen, if you want about that, reach out to me. Let's have a discovery session, a conversation over Skype, because I know you're in England. We'll talk about it. So, Italian psychologist, cool. Whereabouts in Italy are you by, Ricardo? I'm just going to ask a question whilst I'm moving on. And so, if you're looking for love in all the wrong places, to quote the bad song, I can help you look in the right places. One of the keys, by the way, it's in here to start with. So that's the 3 keys I want to cover for now to give you a framework to play in. Again, I'm doing on Thursdays right now is the current plan, but it could evolve. Oh, you're a British psychologist. Oh, you're a British psychologist. Look at this. And I'm a British expat. I'm an expat Brit living in America who's also a psychologist too. Amazing, we've got psychologists everywhere. I love this stuff. Although not licensed. That's why I didn't choose that path. Anyway, that's changing the conversation myself. So, if you go to my website, you can get the 3 keys in detail with homework assignments, because I'm not giving you practices now. That's not what I'm planning on this scope. I'm giving you just the 3 keys to be aware of them. Then hopefully you'll get a shift in your perspective. If you go to my site, you get the 3 keys videos, which will give you more detail about the description of those 3 different keys, which I mentioned, and homework practices you can do in your own time to help you restore and rebuild in those areas. All right? I'm keeping these scopes pretty brief, mainly because it's my full scope of the day and I'm pretty wiped, and I've got an event to go get ready for. So we can really love someone. If our mother loved us when we were children, yes and no. And I understand what you're saying about that, because I talked about this in key number 3, is that we tend to make our love choices. Okay, Nave, you're at the door. Let me start talking about it. Key number 3 is about be aware of the baggage from the past, because we tend to be trained by our past about how to love and how to. Hey, can you see here? It's basically a recognition that you must look at the mirror of your history, be aware of what you've been through before, because it tends to be the guiding influence for your choices going forwards. It's true. If you want love by your mother for men, or love by your father for women, generally that will influence your love choices as an adult. So yes, that's true. And the caveat is, it isn't fatal, meaning that it can be changed. It's not fate. We have free will still, but you have to do the work. So if you see a psychologist, or myself as a coach, or I hate the word coach, but as a guide, I can help you with that too. It's a recognition that loving is something that can be adjusted as you go through life, because you can love yourself more every day with practice, with inner discipline, and with transformation inside. Then your love model will shift out of what it was before to what it can be. So what Ricardo said is right. As a default, that's what I was trying to say. Based on our upbringing, we will love based on what we were raised with, which could be good, Could be bad, could be indifferent. And it will influence our choices because that childhood understanding, that childhood learning is more powerful than what we consciously think as an adult. And that's a whole other conversation. I mentioned this, did I mention it Tuesday? No, I didn't mention it Tuesday. I mentioned it on the Scopes last week, and I'll do it next week and then Scopes next week. So, you think we are free when we choose someone for love? We think we are. Okay, let me just speak to this again, because I mentioned this at the beginning, with the 3 keys. We will choose someone based upon our filters and our lens we look through. If the person we're choosing matches our history, they'll be more attractive to us. So we may know, for example, this is an extreme example for somebody who may have been through this, if you come from a family that was an addiction, alcoholism, for example, as much as you won't necessarily choose it, you may end up with someone who has an alcoholic experience. Because that's what you're familiar with, and your automatic programming inside, which is subconscious from the younger age, before age 10, was programmed to think that alcoholism and love went together. It's a model of relationship that I've seen studies on. Bruce Lipton's one of my favorite speakers on this stuff in the biology of belief, that we are programmed at a very young age. And what I mean is that we are a sponge taking in the water around us as a youngster, exactly, childhood imprints. So around food, around money, around health, around religion, spirituality, around relationships and romance and love, what we learn in the first 5-10 years of life is the imprint on our consciousness that runs automatically as an adult. And to make it more fun, our subconscious mind is 90+% of our consciousness, and the conscious mind is the mere 5%. So the part of you that's going to wake, say, I'm going to create a vision board and decide what I want to create, that's great. But remember, it's only 5% of your energy, 5% of your consciousness. The majority of your consciousness, like an iceberg below the surface, is programmed a different way than your conscious mind is. And that is where the big work is. And that's when I'm coaching my clients privately, that's exactly what I do with them, is help them resolve that, because it is such a unspoken yet buried automatic pilot. And it's not the law, but it's what we default to because we don't know any differently. When something's running automatically in the background, we're not ever aware of it. It's a childhood imprints and weight loss as your specialism, right? Same principle, exactly. Because food, health, same as relationships, love, same thing. We get imprinted at a very young age about life, about everything about life, because we look at our parents to teach us. And then we become an adult and don't know any different. And the things we learn things along the way, but they don't go in deep enough, they won't reset the programming as a kid. So yeah, you and I should probably talk at some point, Jenna, because I think we have an overlap of maybe clientele too, because there's something that's very vital. And I didn't realize this. I learned this one, thankfully, younger age, but I didn't know about it until that time, that I was actually carrying along that programming. And it is a default. But the good news is, being a default, it can be changed. First step is awareness, to be aware of it. Because being aware of it, you go, oh, that's not what I want. How do I shift it? And that opens a whole other dialogue, a whole other opportunity. So that's the 3 keys in a nutshell. In brief, I say go to my website, watch the whole series, reach out for Summit as well. Antica Summit, we are both on it. Yes, indeed. I forgot that. Yes, we are on the Summit. That's after, when is that? It's January now. I was on a radio show on Monday, by the way. If you want to catch my latest, I talk about this a lot on her radio show on Monday. It's on the archive, it's on the website. If you go to Blog Talk Radio / Your Own University Radio, I think. Yeah, I think it's Your Own University Radio is the suffix. So it's up there too. I need to post that on my Facebook page too, so people can see it. Yeah, please do. Antique and I are buddies. We were on a summit together, and I've been interviewed on a show a few times. And yeah, oh, you're on next week. Good. I should listen in to that. That'd be fun. Love and hate complimentary. That's a different topic. I'm not exactly planning to cover it now, but in terms of the question, love and hate complimentary, basically, no, they're actually the same. They're actually, no. Now let me play with this one and see if you like this one for size. Love and hate are the same thing. Dun, dun, dun. What I mean is that you can't hate something or be upset with something unless you care about it. So if you're angry at someone, it's because you care. If you didn't care, you wouldn't do anything. You're being neutral. So hate is a reactive response to love. So in some ways, hate and love are the same thing, they're just expressed differently. Because the same source is the love inside. One is clean, to love, and one has been reversed because of some upset that brings it out as hate. So in some ways, they're not complementary as much as they are, I want to say two sides of the same coin, but they are two facets of the same jewel, let's put it that way. So if that answers your question, that was what I would say. My experience of that is, I watched people, clients, friends of mine, and I did it myself, go through times of hate because I was so in love with the person and couldn't get what I wanted out of them. So I resented them and then hated them because of the fact that I didn't get what I wanted from them. It wasn't their fault, it was all my stuff. And that's the trap. We tend to put all that negative energy in here, nowhere. It doesn't go out anywhere, it's stuck in here, so we end up suffering from it. So why do it? Better again, to love ourselves first, so we can love somebody else. Just like they do on the airplanes with the oxygen masks. It's for the adults, put the oxygen mask on first before you put your child's one on. Same thing with love. Love yourself first, so you can love somebody else. That's a guide to life. Any other questions, thoughts? This has gotten interesting and wasn't planning on this. Passion equals aggressive? Well, I have a debate with somebody about this. Somebody hates the word passion because they say it ties to the Bible, which was the passion of the Christ, which is suffering. I believe passion is a positive word, personally. Passion isn't aggression. Passion is energy. Aggression is usually against something or someone. To an aggressive act against somebody. Being passionate, though, can be emboldening and building with somebody. So I'd say they're different, personally. But it's hard to be aggressive without some sort of passion. So in some ways, yes, it is part of it. But passion on its own is not the same as aggression. I would definitely say it's not the same thing. So that's what I was just trying to clarify in my own head as I was saying it to you. Any other questions, Rick? Ricardo, you're throwing questions at me, which is good. And keeping me on my toes. I covered my 3 points, so I'm really, this scope is complete for the title. Now it's freeform, which will actually be tomorrow's subject matter. Oh, you're welcome. Ricardo, I'm curious, which part of Italy are you in? Just curious to know. I asked earlier, but I don't think you saw me, didn't hear me, so I'm just not saying again, what part of Italy are you in? Okay, you're welcome. I know there's a delay on the comments to questions, so maybe you're answering the question already, so I don't want to keep asking it, because you probably already answered. No? Okay, I guess not. Signing off. So I'm going to sign off on this. Okay, everyone's online now. Thank you for watching the scope. Next time if you're watching live, please watch it on the mobile device, because then you can actually interact with me and type comments. If you're watching on the web, you can't. On the replay, you can tap the screen for hearts on your mobile device, and you can also share it on Twitter and on Periscope as well. So tomorrow is planned to be Freeform Friday. Probably going to be 4 p.m. again, because I'm going to do the whole week the same way, I think, and then next week I might change it. But thank you for joining on the scope. Appreciate you being here. And get out there and love more often. Get out there and love more often. Get out there and love, period. Love yourself, love other people, and be good to yourself. Okay? Bye.